necessarily as high as coin flippers with the double tracer, so they're really looking for the up close and personal fights, where Tarku, though, is more than happy to sit back on that Widowmaker and just allow this to buy him some time. But Pertu is actually, he switched away from Mercy to Pharah.
Yeah, that's a bit of a change.
That's a major change.
There's no, yeah, I mean, they've gone with the Lucio, single Lucio versus the double Lucio. That's a very, very ballsy tactic coming out of the coin flippers.
Whoa, what are you doing, Pertu? You can't dive in that, not unless you have Barrage. You got to be more careful on that. You got to sit back a little bit further or lay down some suppressing fire or something from the back. But either way, he's gone down. Esuba will get control of the first point in just a few seconds. But Molly's able, well, no, he's not really been able to build too much ult percent. Yeah, he has a lot of damage on his beam with 87% charge. But his ult's only about 30%.
So a query going on to the Tracer instead of the Pharah, which he's been playing the whole way through. And obviously has that bomb ready and waiting to go. You're going to see them capping out the point, starting to build it up. We'll get contested out, but as you mentioned, they're going to have their ultis charging up already here. And you've already seen the bombs going. I think he just bombed himself, didn't he?
I think he re-wound into it. It was around a corner. I'm not sure.
I think he did.
You know, he died himself.
To it, you know.
No, I'd love to. I'd love to. Okay, so Tarku, I guess we should tag along with him for a little bit just to see, is he going to be challenged out on? Kiki has switched over to Widow, so have a Widow v Widow battle, but he can already see him coming, and well, you're not going to win that battle when she knows you're going to be there. Yeah. And that will give him a little bit more control. So by maybe about 20-30% more, assuming that the rest of the team can hold.
Well, we'll see. It's a rather large assumption, but judging by the rest of the game so far, but this is looking like a pretty solid hold. We talked about this at the start. You were thinking Esuba might well have it in them to hold them completely in. Nobody's dealing with Jam 1 around the side. He's just got around the back of them. They're kind of ignoring. He's got the Primal Rage going, but without the rest of his team, he's going to try and knock them off the map. Not going to work out. And without the rest of his team to back him up, which finally are arriving, he's not going to be doing a lot, even though his ult is used. There's
really not much reward to, as a solo Winston, to actually jump on the point with your ultimate, Primal Rage, to buy time, because when it's contesting, you're still giving them percent, and you're just giving them more ult percent, and then you're not alive and no ultimate available when your team does finally get there. So it's a little bit risky to do that. But already at 82%, looks like Esuba's just going to pull off the full hold. We're seeing we saw the triple trade, so now just double. And Pertu has to hit a good pulse bomb here if they want to have a chance of even capturing this point.
Okay, they got Sound Barrier, Graviton Surge, and Pulse Bomb all ready to go. It should be a nice little lineup. Yes, there we go. Pertu gets himself the double. They do finally line up the kills and manage to get themselves the ultis layered in. But is it enough? Can they capture out the point? Because it's still being contested. Don't forget that double Lucio still sticking around. PKR and Wachulka gets taken down. PKR is going to be running in, but he's finally decided back away, join the rest of his team. Weber's just going to hold position at the moment. So the double Tracer switch from Pertu and Watted finally pays off, but it was really down to Mala's Graviton Surge.
Exactly, yeah. And you can't depend on that to win a fight every single time. It's just not going to be available. And we were able to push through, able to actually shove out Marlon, keep him away. So Mala doesn't have really a chance to really do too much, but he's able to survive this one for the most part. The rest of the team's rushing through. He gets stuck with a Pulse Bomb. It's launched off the map, and Pulse Bomb's being thrown left and right. Tarku kills himself with his own Venom Mine. No, Widowmaker. He kills himself with his own Widow Mine.
Well, I mean, we're finding new and improved ways to kill yourselves. That's what they're doing. But, you know, despite that, they've actually managed to hold the site, which is impressive. So Davsat trying hard to build up this ulti. Does take a long time on Xayah.
Here it is.
Still managing to pick them off. Now, this is exactly what worked against them. There's the Graviton Surge, but he killed himself when he went in there.
Oh, so he had to go past the shield to use it, but at the same time, he killed himself and there was no backup. There was no Tracer ultimates. I mean, Aquaria, if you just waited a little bit longer, he's already at 95%. He could have had it up, and there's the Death Blossom coming through, forcing Weaver to use his Primal Rage just to survive. And the point is just still taking it. It's still in Coin Flipper's hands.
But that, I would take that. Forcing the Death Blossom out, because that can be one of the game enders for you. So just using a Winston ult. But now we've got a double Winston with a double Tracer. So they've switched away from what was working, honestly. They clearly didn't feel that confident with it, with the double Tracer Wanted and Pertu. So now we're at 84% to 99%. There's the Neutron Bomb. He could land it nicely. Doesn't catch it onto Weaver. That's what he wanted to do. Sound Barrier comes down. This is the big attack. This is the one that should work out well for them. But Watted hasn't been dealt with. Finally gets popped down on site. Jane Wire switched to one that's actually on site. There we go. One of the monkeys. We'll get there in there eventually. But now it's going to get capped out. They are getting cleared out. Weaver's in there. Everybody in there. Tarku once again stunning Overwatch. And actually landing shots this time around.
Yeah, and they honestly needed it out of him, especially. He gets another one at Kiki, looking for maybe a third. Behind the statue, but nonetheless, they've been able to finally get control of the point yet again. Both teams at 99%. The overtime is taken away. The Tracers, the Winston's going to be rushing in to buy some extra time and looking to turn this one around. Well,
you can see the neutral bomb going to get thrown in. Not going to catch out, but it doesn't matter because Davsa gets the kill. Ticking away. Very quick ultis being charged up here. Now we see the Tracer spam. Now we see Januar switching across to it as well. Are they going to be able to get in on site? Are they going to keep it? Because the problem is the Ruins. It's a long run to the spawn.
That's why you're seeing 5 Tracers come in out of coin flippers and the Lucio component to help speed them through. Give them a little bit extra healing, not to mention Tracers have a lot of sustain by themselves, but the overtime will continue to take away. Weber is honestly... It's really rough for him to do too much against this because a Winston, he's decent against a Tracer, but once you get some range between you, and there's 5 of them, you're not really going to survive.
Well, the sound barrier. Oh, it was at 93%. That may well have been enough to help them out there. But we still do have 4 Tracers alive trying to run in that moment. Weber, though, with that Primal Rage. And more importantly, Winston does very good against Tracers.
Yeah. As long as he can keep close. And luckily for him, the point's made for him to stay close to people. But it's still in overtime, still taken away. We're seeing Kiki now switch over to Winston to help deal with the other Winston he's up against. The overtime, it's finally taken down. The Graviton Surge is going to buy a little bit of time. And Esuba will finally, after a hell of a lot of time, pick up that first point.
Considering they got up to 99% to 0.
Yeah.
It certainly took them a long time to close it out there. So, Tracer spam or not, it's proven unsuccessful. And Esuba hold on to the first map. Now, will we see the game closed out here on the Lighthouse? That's the question. That is the question, Jason. It's the ultimate question. It's the ultimate question in everyone's minds. Everybody's souls.
Can souls have questions?
I don't know. I mean, ask your own soul.
Mine doesn't talk to me anymore.
Damn, we've got deep and philosophical.
Alright, yeah, kicking off the next point. This one going to be on Lighthouse. So we're seeing the double Tracer, double Lucio, the Winston, and the Roadhog for coin flippers. A double Lucio, the Zarya, Reaper, Winston, and Tracer out of Esuba. I like Esuba's actual comp here. If Tarku can get in position on point, it's going to be really hard for anyone on coin flippers to really deal with them.
Yeah, deal with those Winstons as well. Should be pretty easy for them to pick them off. The same with the Hog. The Hog takes a hell of a beating from this. You can see he's just getting picked out by that Reaper. Working out well. The Winston's not going to be able to survive too long either.
All percent you get
very easy to cap out
of Tarku, like on Reaper against the Roadhog, is just insane.
Are they going to change out, I wonder? Are they going to realize, okay, this is not going to work against the Reaper? Yes, they have. The Farah comes in from Pertu instead. Not sure if that's the right choice. I'm really interested how we've gone from Pertu being the Mercy to Kopon and Mala now being the Lucios and Pertu being a Farah.
Well, and Mala, who was playing like the flex tank role, playing support.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I mean, maybe he's the only one that feels confident to play Farah in this lineup. Which is honestly a really rough change. Hopefully it's not because he can't play Lucio. That would be an excuse I would never accept, I think. But Pertu, he's been able to at least get some decent damage in. It's still really hard for him to survive without a Mercy in the air. I mean, there's not really much against him, but it's still really difficult if you take chip damage to kind of sustain on that high ground into the air. But 38% for Esuba. If they take this point and win, it's over. They will finally been able to move in through to the next round.
Yeah, Taku's doing a great job here. You can see all the ultis charged up and ready to go. Taku does finally get picked down, though. That's going to be the neutron bomb in there. Weber did pop his ulti at the same time. PKR, though, double sound barrier available, but he gets picked off as a sound around the side there. And we need to have some changes. I think we need to have some changes. Is it going to be enough to try and get in? He does get the hook himself on a Tracer, but couldn't follow him. And then almost get knocked off the map.
He pulled her a little bit too far. But he's on point. He's at least contesting it so far. But will you have an opportunity to really kill anyone? The Death Blossom's going to come in. It's going to push him away. And now they're in a rough spot where they could be knocked off by a boot from Lucio. But Tarku coming around from the side. Don't shoot just yet. And he gets want to get a little bit closer to the Farah. But he's just been able to do some really heavy work here on this Reaper. Anyone in close range is just going to have too tough of a time. It's going to be too difficult for them to actually take a Reaper on 1v1.
He's risking it, going past the opening there with the double Lucios, but we'll finally get dropped down, and I think the point is actually going to get capped. There we go. Won't get contested in time. Oh, look at that. So close. Weber jumps in, jumps out. Now it's going to be contested. 95%, and finally we see coin flippers starting to get some action.
It's very reminiscent of Ruins.
Yes.
The first point where Esuba got 99%, then coin flippers able to turn it around. Or at least maybe flip the situation on its head. Ooh. Or tails. Depends on which way they wanted to go. And Pertu, Barrage, gonna get one. Gonna get the assist on the second. Won't get the third. So not really honestly that much of a value out of the Barrage that he did throw down. but it's been able to give them a little bit of positioning, it's been able to give them control of the inside, most importantly, and could actually give them the game.
Yeah, that's kept them away far out. Oh, I don't think you're going to be coming back from this one. You've gone too far away. He's going to get the boost, but will not get quite close enough. Can't drift in there. Pertu picks him off from range. Overtime triggered. Here comes the Tracers. Is it going to be enough? The Graviton Surge just keeps them away, and that's going to be beautifully set up for Tarku, who we were talking about throughout the game, obviously, talking about his Widowmaker work, but you can't argue with his Reaper work. That was fantastic. He kind of dominated that map.
Well,
we have a game finally over.
We have
Esuba
finally
actually won.
Finished a game. Whew, that one took quite a long time, but nonetheless, Esuba will move through. Maybe not the way they expected, but maybe the way they wanted to, but they get through nonetheless. They get a damn good warm-up from it.
That took like an hour and a half.
Yep.
That was a long game.
Yep, that was a rough one.
That was a long game. So